Today I will be sharing 3 ways to work on drum coordination so that you can play the ideas you want, giving you more freedom on the drum set. The first way is by using drumming books. Books are a great tool, especially for newer drummers, as once you can read music and understand the basics of music theory, then you can get stuck into a drumming book and follow it through to improve your coordination. This will result in a very natural progression as you don't have to do that much thinking. You just practice the page, following the steps provided, and then move on to the next one, until you complete or get the skills you want out of the book. Some things to be mindful of is that some musical styles are very difficult or nearly impossible to notate, as they might have a very specific feel, specific rhythms or dynamics that are developed by listening and absorbing the music. Some examples of this are samba, salsa, Afro-Cuban, and jazz. You can still learn the coordination for these grooves, however, you'll find that some of the musical information here might be missing as you are learning off a page and not by ear. After all, we use our ears to listen to music, so we should also make sure to use them to learn music. I would also recommend, once you can play the beats from the book, adding in the metronome. This way you can develop your sense of timing as well while working on your drum coordination. I think books are a great place to start and a great tool for working on drum coordination. Next, we have permutations. This is where you learn a groove and then displace one or more notes by one beat or one subdivision and then learn that version of the groove. The idea here is that you learn all possible variations of a beat, and that way when you improvise and play music, you have all the options to choose from for whatever your musical situation is. Let's take rock beat 1 as an example, and I'm going to move the kick drum 1/16th note over each time, making a total of 8 different variations. So we have our rock beat 1, and then we're going to move the kick over by 1/16th to make the kick drums on the 1E and the 3E. Then the next one would be on the 1 and the 3 and. Then the 1 and the 3 . On 2 and 4, so lining up with the snare drum. Then on the 2E and the 4E. Next we have the 2 and the 4 and. And lastly, the 2 and the 4 . Which then cycles back to our original beat, which has the kick drum on beats 1 and 3. Now I'll play each variation for 2 bars and then move on to the next one so that you can hear all 8 variations back to back. This is great, as the idea is to develop musical freedom by learning all the different coordination combinations. I do, however, have some thoughts though on the downside of this. First of all, this can be very time consuming, as there's almost an infinite number of variations you can come up with if you take into consideration just even the time signature, different subdivisions, and different surfaces of the drums. These 3 factors alone would create thousands and thousands of beats. So it's a big task. Similarly, I think that the combinations that you choose to work on and develop is what strengthens your sound and your ideas on the drums. You might go through the different permutations and find one that you don't like, and that might be an idea or groove that you don't wish to play on a recording or live performance. But then again, the counter argument is if you're playing with other musicians, you might need that specific permutation or type of beat for a song that you want to play in the band. So both sides have validity. I think a great place to start is to work on all the permutations in a few different settings, and then after a while you can pick and choose which ones you'd like to work on to hone your taste and sound on the drums. I'm interested to know your thoughts on this, where you sit on Should you learn all the options to have them there, or should you only learn some of them to develop your taste in sound? Drop a comment down below and it'd be great to get some discussions going. Moving on to number 3, we have learning songs. This is great as you're going to learn musical skills by working on songs, which is something that you may not get from working on just bookwork or permutations alone. Another benefit is if you pick songs that you really enjoy, then you'll also feel more motivated to practice and enjoy music, which is a very important thing. You can learn grooves and feels from songs by writing them down, learning by ear, or by using sheet music. I strongly suggest learning some grooves by ear, as you'll pick up on a lot of the musical details that can be missed by just using bookwork or permutations, as we discussed before. You'll pick up on extra musical details like how quiet the ghost notes are compared to the accented notes, how loud are the hi-hats compared to the kick and snare, where is the drummer sitting time-wise compared to the bass player, and plenty more musical details. When learning grooves by ear, even if you don't get it exactly how the drummer is playing it on the recording, you'll still be improving your ears, working on your coordination, and developing the skill of learning and practicing new material. Something to be mindful of is to choose a wide range of songs, styles, and drummers to learn songs and grooves from. This way, you'll get a broad learning experience while developing your musical taste, as you'll find that you enjoy certain ideas and drummers more than others. Remember, this is a great thing, and this is what makes your musical voice unique. So I'd advise you use a bit of each of these 3 ways to develop your coordination on the drums. You could take this to the extreme and take a beat from a book and then write out some permutations for it, learn those, and then play them along to one of your favorite songs, trying to emulate the same feelings, dynamics, touch, sound, timing, and subdivisions of the drummer playing on that particular song. I hope you found this video useful. Let me know in the comments some ways that you like to work on drum coordination, and if you want to improve your double strokes, then check out this video here on how to do that.